The families of the victims of a town of Maine man who raped a little girl and left a man to die in a hit-and-run crash are frustrated that he could spend as little as 3.5 years in prison. 22-year-old Christian Rogler was sentenced in Broome County Court today. Back in February, Rogler accepted a plea bargain in which he pled guilty to leaving the scene of a fatal crash and attempted rape. On September 9th of last year, Rogler struck and killed 43-year-old Jamel Smalls, who was in the crosswalk at the intersection of Upper Front and Bevier Streets in the town of Dickinson. Rogler fled the scene despite knowing he had hit someone and sustaining significant damage to his vehicle. He was driving under the influence of marijuana and methamphetamine. Smalls was originally from New York City but had lived in Binghamton for the past 10 years. Dozens of family members traveled up from New York, demanding that Rogler spend the rest of his life in jail.
You took him from all of us. You took my mother's only son, and for that I will never forgive you. I hope every day you're reminded of your heinous act and you lose sleep like we do.
It looked very intentional, like you rode over him a few times. His face looked rearranged. His whole arm was nearly cut off. He was left on the road, a father, a brother, an uncle.
At the time of the hit and run, Rogler was already facing the rape charge. Over the course of 2 months in late 2021, he repeatedly raped and sexually assaulted a 9-year-old girl in a family he was staying with. For that crime, he was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. For the hit and run, he got a range of 2 1/3 to 7 years, which he will serve at the same time. So a parole board could release him after just 3.5 years. Broome County District Attorney Paul Battisti says he understands the family's frustration.
This defendant took a life, he took someone's innocence. Unfortunately, as a prosecutor, sometimes you're confined to the penal law and the sentences that the New York State Legislature allows us to impose. What Mr. Rogler did is reprehensible.
Prior to sentencing, Rogler asked the judge for a furlough to spend more time with his family and to be excused from being in the courtroom. Judge Carol Cacciola denied both requests, noting that Rogler had failed to show remorse during the pre-sentencing investigation. When given an opportunity to speak, Rogler only said, quote, "All I can say is I'm very sorry for what I've done, and I'll live with it for the rest of my life," unquote.